Absolutely, and Coach Lim has said this multiple times, is we have as much firepower as we've ever had in the gym at any given time. So yes, some days not everyone's on, but when we tap into our potential, which is I think what we started to do tonight, is it's going to be fun. And it's exciting to see where this team can go with the weapons that we have.
Coach, you mentioned at the beginning of the press conference that Coach Carter and Coach Wallace were instrumental in the scouting portion of that. How difficult was it to scout a good team like Marquette, who's worthy of making the NCAA tournament, in a span of a couple hours, and how did those guys really help you? How did those guys really help you?
So we all have different job descriptions. We're all going to watch tape, and we're all going to pay different attention to different things. But while that was going on, you got to realize that, like, I talked to Marquette before the game, and I had explained to him that, good luck against Creighton. They're going to go battle this year, and then when he had watched that whole tape, and then another tape, and then he was, talking to us about the Iowa State game. Okay, so we got those two, and they went back and watched last year's tape. Well, only so many hours of the day, and I have a feeling that those guys are stuck in their rotation and their lineup. You got big kids in the front row and little kids in the back. You see their sub patterns. I mean, there's always little kids in the back and big kids in the front. And I got all these littles doing this and bigs doing that. And I think it must be nice, sort of just rolling out the team. Well, in a way, we are. There's a lot of things that look the same, but we've also grown some things in players, and we think there's a few more things that they can do. You didn't see Jody hit off 1 foot last year, just an example. We're trying to get Abby Lehman not running straight to the net all the time anymore. Trying to give her some space on her own rather than having someone help create it for her. Just who could pass, who should pass. It didn't walk in the door in August. We're looking at stuff, and then we're riding the consistency wave. So if you have a little bit of depth in some spots, every now and then you're like, maybe this or maybe that. And honestly, and she knows this, a lot of our adjustments have been waiting to see that from Tabitha. And I'm always going to say it's the wristband, because all I ever saw her do was dominate without it, and I never saw her dominate with it. So I'm going, she's free. We got this thing up her hand, and she can control that arm, and she's feeling good, and that simplifies a lot of our, right? I mean, makes things easy when, we can play some games with Mikaela as a blocker, and, Jody can do just about anything. So we got a few things we'll do there, and Abby will do a few things, and Katie Zazinski, based on what we do with Abby, will do a few things. But this was a weekend that solidified some things in my brain. So when you ask the question about the coaches, it's getting as much prep work as we could, meanwhile still trying to put the pieces together for Wichita State.